introduction, but from your advice, you know, say me a girl, bad girl, J, the female cartel. Yo, DJ Odell. Any boy size up now, go live for tell. Watching a man, not man, salt man. Hear me a send a man, Guyana. Knocking boy face with a high
Check, check, check. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, the whole tri-state area. What's good? Georgetown, Guyana, the whole Caribbean. All my friends in Jamaica, my friends in Trinidad. What's happening, man? This is Music in Depth. Music in Depth. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We're gonna be here every week on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want you to log in. I want you to check us out. This conversation is going to be all music. This is a music based online talk show. We're going to be talking music. We're going to be diving into some hot topics. We're going to be reviewing songs, both old, new. We're going to be reviewing album releases. We're going to be doing a lot of things, and the whole conversation is going to be based on music and everything that has to do with music. Weekly, we're going to have a new guest weekly. What we're going to do, we're going to call up producers, songwriters. We're going to call up media personalities. We're going to call up different artists. We're going to have conversations about music, see what's happening, see what's new out there, see what people are doing. All right, this week on the show, this week I'm super excited. This week I'm super excited. We're going to be talking to Gordon Moseley of newssource.com, Jumpstart 94.1 Boom FM. Gordon Moseley is a media personality that's been operating in Georgetown, Guyana for a number of years. And, we're going to talk music. We're going to talk some local music, some local Guyanese content, see what's happening. So we're going to call in Gordon. Gordon, what's going on, man? How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm doing good. Oh, that was good to be here for the show, and congratulations on this new step for you. Music in depth, I like it.
All right, all right, all right. We happy to have you, man. We happy to have you, Gordon. Gordon, we're gonna be on weekly Sundays at 6 p.m. We're gonna go live on YouTube. We live on Facebook. We're gonna be on Instagram. Don't forget, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like, share, give us a comment on Facebook, send your feedback, let's know what's happening. If there's anyone special you want to hear from, if there's any special content that you're interested in, you can send us all your content via email, musicindepth20 at gmail.com. Gordon, we called you in today, man. We want to have a conversation about local music coming out of Guyana, man. Just I want to get a sense. What's your assessment of local music coming out of Georgetown, Guyana over the past, let's say, 2 years?
Yeah, well, as I said, thanks for being here. It's good to for you to invite me here. Music coming out of Guyana has been growing and growing really good over the past 2 years, I would say, especially this past year with the pandemic. We have seen a lot more artists putting out music, a lot of new artists putting out music and good music. A lot of times when you think about new artists coming out of a country like Guyana that's not known for its music really, you're not sure what you're going to get. I think over the past couple of months and over the past 2 years, we have been able to see really good music being produced and coming out of Guyana. And so I think we've seen it grow, and I think we're going to see it grow even more.
So, I've been in the studios a lot recently. I've started, a whole music show. I've been working with a lot of the artists in the studios, and there's still a complaint about local music not being played enough on the radio. Although sometimes I argue with them because I do tune into the radio live in my car a lot of times and I'm hearing local music on the car. So I'm trying to understand what the problem is. Is it that we're playing some local music versus the others? What's the situation with local music on local radio?
Odell, I can talk about the radio station I'm on. I can't talk for the others. But 94.1, which I'm on in the mornings, has been blazing the trail with local music. Once a good local song comes out, it goes on, it gets played. There's even a rotation system, which allows all of the shows on the station to carry that song. And so you have a new song going out to rotate, and then the DJs pick it up from there. I'm not sure why the complaint is still there. We now have over 15 radio stations in Guyana, and a lot of radio stations, a lot of radio shows, and I seriously don't know what a complaint is about. I think sometimes people want their particular song to be played more, and it's not a complaint of local music not being played. Is that your one song that you brought out last year or the year before cannot be played this year? It's gonna eventually die a natural death. I think what some artists want is that one song, that one hit song, to be played nonstop on the radio. The radio is a business. They're not there to make friends. They're there to run a business, and so they'll deal with what's current. They'll deal with what's trending. They'll deal with what's popping, as the young people would say, and that's it. So I'm not sure what the complaint would be in 2021.
Got you. That makes a lot of sense to me. And it's interesting that you said that. So now we on the topic of some artists wanting to hear their music all the time or playing one subset of music or something like that. Now, how I see it, I'm starting to think like the definition of what good music is changing a little bit because I'm also hearing some music that are getting a lot of views, that are getting a lot of following, that's doing well in the local underground parties. And to be honest with you, I like it because I take to a certain type of music, but really and truly, I'm not getting the sense that it's music that can go mainstream or that can cross over or that can be played internationally on the radio. And it's a lot of like what do you feel about the quality of the music that we're putting out and the content and the message behind the songs and do you think that we really coming with quality because they're complaining that they're not getting airplay, but how do you feel about their content?
When you talk about quality, and when you talk about getting airplay, who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? That is the question. Duke Ross can't complain about not getting airplay. Duke Ross is signed to a major international label. One of his songs on YouTube has 8 million views, so he's not complaining. You have another a gospel artist, Samuel Menace, who's been bringing out 2 or 3 albums per year, won international gospel awards. He's been performing in almost every Caribbean island and the US. When the pandemic came, he got stuck in Bermuda because he was there doing back-to-back shows. He has songs on YouTube with 3 million and 4 million views. So is he complaining? There's the Chutney Singers. One of the biggest songs right now coming out of Bacardi Sing, which is so big it's all over Trinidad and Tobago. People thought it was a Trini song. The song right here out of Guyana, out of the Shakti String studio. And that has over 2 million views on YouTube. You have Drew Tovin with his songs that he's brought out this year. All of those songs having lots of views on YouTube. One song uh, having over 500,000 views on YouTube without a music video, just one of those music screens. So when you say, people are not getting the airplay, I'm trying to figure out who you're talking about. If you're going to say, if they're going to be complaining, who are these people complaining? Because the ones who've been bringing out good music, the ones who've been bringing out consistent music, they're enjoying the airplay. And I don't think there's any artist out there in Guyana who could honestly complain about that. There are some people who might come out to the woodwork with a song. You understand? And you can't expect the radio station to just put you on. The song might not be of a certain quality. And they will say that to some of them. But so when you talk about the artist, you gotta first define the artist. Who is the artist? Do you consider someone who just popped up the morning and decided I'm singing a song? Is that person an artist? Do you consider them an artist? So when people say, oh, songs are not being played, I'm trying to figure out who they're talking about. Tamika Marshall is not complaining. Jomo Primo is not complaining. Adrian Dutchin is not complaining. Saiku is not complaining. Vanilla is not complaining. So
Interesting.
what we're really talking about when we talk about our songs not being played on the radio, I'm trying to figure out who.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna go into something else, right? Because you mentioned YouTube views and stuff like that. Uh, the music that we're gravitating to. So we're seeing a lot of music coming out from like Baby Skello and other type artists. And I noticed that the views are up. The YouTube subscribers are up. Everything is up. Um, there's some artists too that I'm working with. that are complaining, like, in plain terms, it's like, oh, people only listening to that. I'm making good music over here. Nobody's not listening to my good music, but they liking and sharing that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, but Michelle and Kelly were part of Destiny's Child. Beyonce gets 1 billion views on one song. Tell me how many views Michelle gets. Tell me how many views Kelly gets. And they've been bringing out albums and bringing out music. And they've been bringing out good music. I think people gotta simply stop complaining about all good music. You have an artist like Baby Skello, and people like to sort of use Baby Skello as if he's the poster child for bad music again. He is not. Baby Skello did what a lot of local artists should be doing. Baby Skello created a Facebook page and started from his bedroom to living room, promoting whatever it is, singing his songs out to tune, making up songs as he go along. That's what he was doing. People found it funny. In the middle of a pandemic, people are in, but go to the Baby Skello's Facebook page and watch and see whatever he and Sugar Daddy and Chinese Man singing. Have a good laugh. People like that. Then Baby Skello brought out one song that had a little song good vibe to it. And so people gravitated to that song. And so now we have the secret location parties happening in some of the areas that like the dancehall type music. Baby Skello is the artist they're taking in there and getting a good reception for that one song. So Baby Skello will go and sing that one song, Managialis, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour. And the party rocks to that. You
Hmm.
see, a lot of times people make music for themselves and they forget there's an audience out there. What is your audience gravitating to? What is your audience listening to? Who is your audience? And that is what you've got to think about when you want to put music out there. If everybody's singing reggae, you come with the same sort of reggae song, but it can differentiate you from Christopher Martin, from Romain Virgo, from what's the other guy's name? I want to say Luciano, but whoever else is bringing out music right now to Jamaica,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm. Dexter
people
Daps.
might not really feel that vibe. Dexter
Hmm.
Daps, you put throw Dexter Daps in there, or Vision and whoever in there. People might not feel that vibe. So you've got to know who's your audience and what you're bringing out. There's another Guyanese artist who sang a song about tint. You understand? Who sang a song about some of those current police stopping you and telling about the tint and he trying to explain to the police. It's a funny song, it had a good vibe to it. People saw that, people listened to that, rock back with that. You had Drew Tobin, who's a producer, who's been producing music for Destro Garcia and other artists in the Caribbean, and decided he's gonna start singing. And so he got two other singers, a DJ, Dolly Ras, and another singer, another local rapper, C Kush. And they sort of brought out their dancehall mixed with reggae, mixed with hip hop sort of thing. And that has been doing well. So you've got to understand your audience and you've got to understand who you're singing for. I think that is the important thing. If you're just going to go out there and because you have a good voice, you're going to keep singing and you think people are going to be drawn to that, they're not necessarily going to be drawn to that. So you've got to know what you're selling and who you're selling to. That is how you can do well in the music business.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you. And especially in a time like this, it's everything is based off of views, likes, streaming. It's not about record sales anymore. It's about your streaming numbers. So I have
Yeah.
to agree with you, although I would like to disagree with you because I like the arguments that we have, but I have to agree with you because it requires consistency. That's what I'm seeing. It just requires consistency. For example, I started to do music, I'm doing the show, so I've been having conversations with a lot of artists. I can't even find some of these people. Like, my phone has been ringing. I'm getting text messages like, hey, there's this hot artist. His name is Gordon. You should have him on your show. I see you doing a show. The first thing I do, I want to review Gordon's content. So I go to Instagram,
Hmm.
I go to YouTube, I go to Facebook. I'm looking for Gordon, trying to find Gordon to see
And they
what
have no
Gordon is about
presence.
to ensure that I want to have Gordon to present his music on the show. I can't even find these people. So it's hard for me to understand how they're investing so much time to make these songs and investing so much studio time and so much of their creative effort, and they're not doing a good job at social media marketing. And the reason why I say I have to
Because
agree with you about the Baby Skello thing, the reason I became a Baby Skello fan, I'm almost sure, is because the minute I open the Facebook app and I start scrolling on the app, I'm seeing Baby Skello popping up. So it tells me that he's working. Whether he's working from his
Mhm.
living room, there's a little patio thing in front of his house. If he's out there working, wherever he's working from with his dad, his brother, whoever he has on the set, listen, it's meeting the audience. It got all the way to me. I became a fan. I'm actually seeking some of these artists that have all these problems to have them on the show, and I can't find them. So you're right. They got to take a page out of his book. It's clear that it requires some amount of consistency. It's clear that there's an effort that they need to make as well. In addition to making the song, there's other aspects of promoting. There's other aspects where marketing is concerned and all that kind of thing. So I can't disagree with you at all on that topic.
And it's difficult for many of them too because they simply just don't know. Many of them don't understand the intricacies of the entertainment business. Music is entertainment, music is a job. And so you've got to have a presence. You can't have a Facebook page or a YouTube page and there's no content there because people, are driven to content. People will follow content. So if you put up one picture every 6 months. Nobody's going to come there looking for you. But when there's consistency, people come to see, let me see what Garden is putting up today. Let me see what Odell is putting up today. And so they've got to learn that part of the music business that, as a new artist, you've got to embrace social media. What social media has done is created this wonderful platform for you and I and everybody else in giving us a louder voice. For those who might not have a voice, it's giving them a voice. You think about the fact that you can sit down from the comfort of your living room. I can sit down from the comfort of my living room and we can be doing a live show. Rewind this to about 10 years ago or 15 years ago. You and I had to have serious cash and a satellite truck to come and drop some big satellite
Absolutely.
out there.
Absolutely.
Yes, and so the media platform has changed. And I think what has happened is that people have not really embraced that change. Many of them don't understand it and they don't know how to take the advantage of it. So you're complaining about radio stations not promoting your music when you have a platform on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on now TikTok,
For free.
where you can put bits and pieces of your music out there absolutely free and take advantage of that. What is stopping them from doing a weekly show like you're doing to promote their own music? You don't need a radio station. You can reach a wider audience than any radio station in Guyana. And some radio station might actually see your program and say, listen, can I take a feed of this and add it to my Sunday night broadcast or my Tuesday night broadcast? So I think they need to understand media. They need to understand the intricacies of media, how the media landscape has changed, and embrace it. So if you're not too sure, go to somebody who might know a thing or two. Ask them for guidance. Uh, Everybody knows me in this country. Anybody can probably phone and call me. They need help with anything. You don't even get them doing that. You'll get one song here and one song there popping up. And so, they've got to understand that music is work and it's hard work. And so you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to make your presence be known out there. And it's something Guyanese artists have consistently failed at. Many of them have not used the platforms available to them for the right reasons. Like I've been using my platform to promote Guyanese music. Every now and then I put out songs that are new, some are old, and I realize people don't know it's a Guyanese artist, and I put it on Facebook on my pages, and people are drawn to it. People will say, "Oh wow, I know that song, but I did not know it's a Guyanese sang that song." And so it tells you that they're not doing the work for themselves. The fact that you brought out the song 3 years ago, people are singing your song in the parties, singing your song in the dances, and singing your song at big events, and they don't know that you're the singer of that song. That means you and
That's a
whoever your
problem.
management is,
That's
you're
definitely
failing yourself.
that's definitely a problem. That's definitely a problem. All right, if you just joined the show, this is Music in Depth. Music in Depth. We're gonna be on every Sunday at 6 p.m. Today we're talking to Gordon Moseley. The conversation is always music. This is an online talk show. We're not necessarily juggling the music, but we're getting into other aspects of the music. All right, we on YouTube. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel. That's Music in Depth. We on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Like, share, comment. You know all the regular things that you do. One last thing before we roll out of here, Gordon. I want to talk a little bit about the COVID pandemic because a lot of the conversation that we had today had to do with the changes and the whole evolving of the business where music is concerned. Um, how do you think music impacted how do you think COVID impacted all these different musicians and the producers and the songwriters and stuff, and what are your thoughts on these virtual parties, these online parties that I'm seeing, because I see like a lot of virtual backyard parties and all kind of different things with the DJs playing the music online and everyone on a Zoom and we're talking and partying. I mean, me personally, I like the streets. I prefer to be outside. But I would promote
Yeah.
the virtual for safety because it only makes sense. We have to be responsible where COVID is concerned and not go gang up all over the place and stuff. So, what are your thoughts about COVID, the party scene, virtual parties, and that whole kind of pandemic related kind of thing?
Well, I want to encourage people, first of all, to remember, COVID is out there and it's very real. And until we've got a handle on it, we've got to continue protecting ourselves. So think about it when you go to these parties, the secret location parties. Think about the risk you're putting yourself at and the risk that you're putting your families at. You might not have a adverse reaction to COVID 19, but you go home to your mama, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, and their bodies are not the same as yours, and their immune system is not the same as yours, so they might not react the same way. So that is the first thing for us to make clear. So you're doing that at your own risk. Understand the risk involved. I prefer everyone stay home and do a little Zoom party, but that's just me. But let me say this: COVID has really had an impact on the entertainment industry, and not just in Guyana but throughout the Caribbean. For Guyanese artists mostly, many of them would depend on live shows, and it happens in Jamaica too, happens in Trinidad. They don't make their big money off of record sales in the Caribbean. Uh, they make their big bucks on live shows. And so, in the absence of Carnival in Guyana, in the absence of, like in Trinidad right now, you'll be having all the parties for Carnival, they're taking place over there. So, artists are already facing that financial crunch. The sad reality is, I've not seen a system in place anywhere in the Caribbean that has catered for those artists. Governments are cash strapped. They're dealing with other emergencies. And so the entertainment industry is taking a beating from all around because these artists who would be dependent on those live shows to make a buck, to survive in the industry, you're seeing them, you know, being forced on the breadline. And so they have to do other things. The next thing, though, too, is that you've seen the pandemic by everyone has been locked in, like it has brought the creative genius in all of us. Some will talk, some will start a new live show because they're in the basement, locked on, they can nothing to do. Started to go BNH.com and buy equipment and then learn how to use the equipment. And then
That's
you
the
have
compliment. Thank you.
people are going to
Thank
do
you,
that,
Gordon.
and people are going to start cooking, and you have new businesses popping up, and you're going to have new things popping up. Uh, and it has brought about this change. And so on the entertainment side, you have the artists now forced to do more music, and so you have lots of new artists coming out to produce more music, to produce good quality music, and you're seeing that happen now. Over the months, you've seen many artists go back in the studio. They're writing better music. They're coming with songs every week. And people are really diving into those songs. People are really enjoying those beats. And that is the other good part. But those who might have the advantage of a studio, because you don't have the guarantee that an independent studio is going to do the pandemic because that's his business too. And not all producers are going to say, oh, they'll come across and can feel free. So those who have a studio, dedicated studio, are the ones who are going to be. I think something our governments throughout the Caribbean should have looked at is creating like a budget for the creative industries, especially the music industry, and find ways of putting money in the artist's pocket. Whether you want to do a virtual show, I know Guyana has had some of that. Where they have virtual shows and they're performing in front of an empty audience, but it's streaming on TV and stuff like that. And you had some of the artists doing that. I think that is good. And I think a lot more of that should have been done to sort of put some money back into the pockets of those artists. And
Thank
so,
you,
it's
Gordon.
something that we got to see how it works out.
Very solid, very solid. Thanks a lot, man. Listen, we know we've been trying to get you on the show for weeks. You're super busy, so we want to thank you for the time. We want to thank you for having this conversation with us where
Yeah.
local music is concerned. And we looking forward to have you on the show in the future. If you just joined the show, this is Music in Depth. Music in Depth. We're on every Sunday at 6 p.m. This is an online talk show. We just had a very in-depth conversation with Gordon Moseley, one of the leading media personalities out of Georgetown, Guyana, and the conversation was strictly music, man. We want to thank you for joining. Thank you for watching the show. Do be sure to tune in. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Like and share on Facebook. Hit us up on Instagram. Any music content that you want us to review or you want us to put out there to the public, musicindepth20 at gmail.com. That's our email. Gordon, we want to thank you for joining us. We want to thank you for your time. We want to wish you all the best with even your creative work that you're doing for the rest of 2021, man. Thanks for joining us.
And congratulations to you two and your entire team over there in New York. I like the idea. I think it's a great idea. And I want to wish you all the best. And I look forward to making another appearance here.
Thank you, Gordon. Thank you. All right. All right, people. That was Music in Depth. That was Music in Depth. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining, man. Like and subscribe. See you next Sunday. If you can't be good, be careful. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. We out.